The most challenging part about serving, putting all of your food out there, is figuring out a way to get it all to land on the table at the same time without being stressed, running around like a crazy person in your kitchen trying to cook everything at once. In this chapter, I'm gonna talk about the final cooking fundamental, where you actually get to serve the food, sit down with friends and family, and enjoy it. There are a couple of really important tips and tricks to serving to make it less stressful. One is how to choose what you're serving so that you're not overdoing it on the amount of cooking that you have to do. And the second is how to pre-cook a vast portion of what you're gonna be serving. So everything just really needs a finishing touch. And that way, when your friends, family, guests arrive, you're spending more time with them and less time in your kitchen. Today, I'm gonna show you how to put the finishing touches on a charcuterie and cheese spread, a salad, some braised short ribs, and roasted broccolini. I have a very serious confession to make. I never make appetizers. I love making the entree, and having to think about cooking an appetizer as well is just too much. My very first tip to you when you are serving or entertaining is do not make everything. When I'm thinking about people coming over, I love to just create like a charcuterie cheese spread. Throw in some almonds and olives, and you're done. Have a mix of olives with their pits. You wanna have a variety of color, size, and flavor. It's basically about adding like visual interest. Just looks prettier and tastes good. I have a little dish here that I want people to use for the pits. Even though it looks obvious, right? Like the dish is with the olives. It's always a good idea and kind of fun to eat one, and then you put the pit in, and that way there's no confusion. Setting this cheese board aside, here I've got a cured ham, a spreadable chorizo. It's called sobrasada. It's a kind of traditional Spanish style sausage. It's like if you took chorizo and then turned it into butter, that's what it would make. You can smear it on crackers. It's delicious. It's nice to have a variety of shapes, flavors, colors, style. I'm gonna put this rest of that sausage there with the others, and then add some crackers to the plate. And now the appetizers are done, and I didn't do anything but open some packages of my favorite things and put them out on display. The next thing I'm gonna do is get the salad ready. What I have done earlier is get my salad totally ready for company up to a certain point. And what that means is that I have cleaned my lettuce, put it all in the bowl, added my garnishes, the almonds, cranberries, just a really simple salad, some sliced sweet onion, and then I have this damp kitchen towel that I draped over the top of it to keep the leaves of the lettuce crisp and nice before I stored it in the refrigerator. Now, I can take this off, and all I have to do at this point is toss it in the vinaigrette that I have here. This is a lemon and orange vinaigrette with some herbs, and then garnish it a little bit so that it still looks beautiful. I've saved a little bit of the almonds and cranberries so that I can garnish it on top after I've tossed it, so that all those like wonderful, delicious almonds and cranberries don't fall to the bottom and we can see them. My salad is done, so it's time to check the braised short ribs. Ooh, That smells really good. Oh yeah, perfect. Falling off the bone. Cooking something that cannot be overcooked, like a braise, is something I love to do when I'm entertaining, because I could have made this 2 days ago and it would be delicious. I could have pulled it out of my refrigerator cold, brought it up to a simmer, and it'd be ready to go. I seasoned the short ribs a few days ago, right when I bought them. You can season your protein up to 3 days in advance. And then this morning, I seared the meat and cooked the vegetables and then threw it in the oven for about 4 hours. In the chapter on braising, I go into real detail about how to make your own braised creation. At this point, now that the braise is out of the oven, it's pretty soupy. You could enjoy it like this. It's more stew-like. But since I have company coming over, I'm kind of gonna take it to the next level. I'm gonna reduce it and make that sauce extra thick so it coats all those short ribs a little bit more. To reduce the sauce, I need to remove all the good stuff and then put it back in. So, colander in a bowl. I'm gonna take out first the short ribs. I've strained out all of the vegetables and short ribs. These short ribs kind of rendered off a lot of fat. So in order to make this sauce really good, I need to strain off some of that. I'm gonna transfer it into a slightly taller container. It'll just be easier to skim. I'm gonna skim off just a little bit. We don't have to skim off all of it, but the sauce will turn out a little bit better if we don't have quite this much fat in there. When it starts to become difficult to separate the fat from the delicious braising liquid, it's time to kind of call it. It's good enough. I'm gonna pour all of this liquid back in the braising pan. And we're gonna bring it up to a boil and cook it till it's reduced and thickened. We're looking for this to coat the back of the spoon, and when you rub it between your fingers, it should feel viscous and a teeny bit thick. Just a little bit. The streaks of the bottom of the pan that are chasing my spoon as I'm stirring are getting larger. That's another indication that the sauce is thickening. Almost there. Done. Done. When I run my finger along the spoon, see how that streak mark stays? That means it's right thickness. At this point, I'm gonna stir back in my vegetables and my meat. Oh my goodness, this looks so good. We took the rendered fat from the short rib and the protein and gelatin that came out of cooking them in that braising liquid, turned into this luxurious, rich sauce that now clings to every bit of vegetable and meat. I love cooking in a dish like this because it's beautiful straight from the oven to the table. It's like casual, wasn't that much work kind of beauty, But when somebody takes a bite of this and tastes that luxurious reduced sauce, they're gonna feel like you spent weeks making it. Braising is my personal go-to when I'm entertaining, having friends or family over for dinner. The reason is because I can cook it up to a week in advance if I wanted to, or split it up in between 2 days. It's entirely done before my friends and family ever even arrive, which means I get to spend more time with them. Also, it's super impressive and always turns out incredible no matter what I put into it. As long as you make sure that you take it to the point where whatever it is that you've chosen to braise, in this case short ribs, is falling off the bone and pulling apart easily with a fork, it will be delicious. I love to prepare my roasted vegetables ahead of time, and then right before I want to serve them, I haven't turned my oven off from braising the short ribs, and I'm just gonna turn it to a low broil as well, like in a hot oven, and throw them in for a couple of minutes to get them hot. While I'm doing that, I'm gonna get my platter ready. I've got the dish I'm gonna serve it on, and this mayonnaise that I made earlier, it's made with some anchovy and garlic. It's another example of an emulsification, and it makes a wonderful condiment for roasted vegetables, among many other things. This is one of those fancy restaurant techniques where you pile all of the sauce on one end, particularly if it's something thick like a mayonnaise, it works really well. And then you're gonna swoosh it. It's a very technical term, like so. That way your mayonnaise is spread all throughout. It's gonna touch every single piece of broccolini. Before I put something down, I like to think about its orientation. I'm gonna do this. For texture, I have some sunflower seeds here. Just gonna sprinkle those on top. There are three things that I would like you to keep in mind before you go to think about serving a meal or entertaining. The first is, don't make everything from scratch. Pick the things that you're going to spend the time on and the things that you're just going to source. 2, choose menu items that can be prepared in advance. And 3, set yourself up for success by pre-cutting, putting things in the serving dishes ahead of time, pre-roasting, so that way you can spend as much time with your friends and family and have less stress. Cooking is exploring. It's about trying new things. And now in these chapters, since we've covered a core set of cooking fundamentals, you can put those to use. Go into your refrigerator, your pantry, invite your friends and family over, and get creative.